Hey, what's up, brothers and sisters? Welcome back. Hey, I just wanted to talk to you today. I want to talk about Hanukkah a little bit, right? So it's the week of Hanukkah. And Hanukkah is also called the Feast of Dedication, which is mentioned in the Bible, in the New Testament, actually. It's not mentioned in the Old Testament, right? So Hanukkah, the feast isn't in the Old Testament, but the tradition was between the times of the Old and the New Testament. When the Maccabees basically resisted the tyrannical government of the Greeks, who were imposing their religion and their making laws so that they could not, that the Maccabees, the Jewish people, could not practice their religion, as in the Sabbath, as in the feast days, as in circumcision, etc., etc. And I'm trying to get some cool lights back here. So that's what Hanukkah is about. I'm not going to go too deep into it, right? But it's a cool thing to learn about. And if you look at the Antichrist, so Hanukkah is about the people resisting Antiochus Epiphanes, right? That's what he called himself. And if you look at him, he's a type, meaning a symbol or a foreshadowing of the Antichrist, because the Antichrist will make laws, against God's feast days, and against God's holy Sabbath, and he will make people follow those laws. So if you look into the book of Maccabees, for example, which was is a extra biblical, it's outside the canonical Bible, but it's really interesting to read because it's a foreshadowing of what will happen in the end times with the Antichrist coming into the temple, right? The abomination of desolation being set up and passing laws to make you worship on his days and not on God's days, right? That's the mark of the beast, right? So look into the mark of the beast. It's not what you think it is, most likely. You got to look at what the Bible says it is, and the Bible interprets itself, and there is an explanation of the mark of the beast, okay? And it has to do with worship and the day that you worship, and it has to do with a law being passed, right? So, the festival of lights, right? Light is good. God is a light in our life. Jesus Christ is the light, right? He's the truth, the way, and the life. So I'm not saying you got to celebrate Hanukkah. You don't. You don't got to do anything, actually. I don't celebrate Hanukkah, but I like to learn about it. Another quick thing I wanted to chat with you guys about is movies, right? So you got to make sure you're watching what you're putting in your mind and in your ears and in your eyeballs. And I'm actually talking to myself right now. That's why I'm doing a selfie video, right? Because yesterday I saw a horror movie. I saw Resident Evil, and I watched it because I used to play the video game. And I'm not a horror movie guy. I used to be, right, before I found God. I loved horror movies. I actually was a filmmaker, and I used to make horror movies. They were my favorite. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 1, best horror movie I ever made, right? The 70s was the best time for film. A lot of good horror movies, and even like dramatic horror movies like The Brood and Prince of Darkness, a lot of good movies, right? I was into Dario Argento, the Italian horror director, right? So, I mean, right off the bat, 70s movies are way better. Literally any movie made in the 70s is better than anything you can see nowadays. Guarantee it. So, if you want to watch movies, check out the 70s movies. But anyway, I'm just saying that horror movies are not good for you. They're definitely not good for me, right? So, I haven't watched horror movies in a long time. And so I watched this one. And I gotta be real with you guys. I didn't like it. As soon as it started, I didn't like it. I didn't like being there. I didn't like the experience. And I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? It's like torture. I just feel anxious the whole time. Like I'm like, my heart's kind of like racing, and I'm like, is this supposed to be fun? It's just, I don't know, man. Like, since coming to Christ and coming to God, it's like, I just see that as Satan's realm. And actually I started feeling like that shit. Like, am I treading on Satan's ground here? Like, am I like willingly going into his world? I mean, what is this movie about? It's just about death and blood, and you know what I mean? And like that's Satan's realm. And so We really shouldn't allow this stuff into our minds. Now, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I did it yesterday. I like movies. I like to relax and watch movies. But I suffered from that. It really messed with my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, and just like kind of thinking about it, like horror movies are whack. Like, well, at least this one was really bad too. Like, there's no storyline, right? It's just like, okay, they have some kind of basic storyline, and then because you have that, now you just are watching, and you can just fill the rest with like blood and gore and horror and sex, etc., right? So I'm like, yo, and the storyline didn't even make sense. So we gotta be really careful what we put into our field of energy, right? We want to uplift our vibration, not bring it down. You know what I'm saying? That includes music too. So I'm sure you guys like good music. Go listen to Kate Bush. Listen to Dua Lipa and Ariana Grande. Nah, I'm just playing. Like, I love those. I love those bands. I really love Kate Bush. She's super deep. You should check out Kate Bush, but I don't know if it's gonna raise your vibration or bring it down. You know, so maybe don't take that advice. But there's a lot of good singers out there. A lot of good female singers. I'm really into female singers. Sade is dope. She's like one of the best singers. Um, you know, used to be big into Bjork, and I do like hip hop and hardcore and some metal like 90s, like Deftones. I like old school hardcore like Bad Brains. Anyway, let me talk about positive bands actually. Now I'm thinking about MXPX, pretty cool Christian like pop punky type band. Five Iron Frenzy, good punk rock and ska band. Really good band actually. Really good uplifting lyrics. Five Iron Frenzy, definitely. Check out Every New Day and Dandelions by Five Iron Frenzy. Dope band. And who else? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now on the Christian worship music or whatever, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. I'm sure you guys know. Maybe you can comment me if you got any suggestions of any kind of uplifting vibration music and Christian music in general. Hit me up, especially punk rock music, hip hop, reggae. Pretty much like a lot of reggae is spiritual, right? Like Bob Marley and Sister Nancy. Sister Nancy? Yeah, some songs are actually. I'm a Gideon. You know what I'm saying? Gideon. So there's some good stuff, really good stuff out there. And, you know, so these are all choices we make, right? Everything. And we're always making bad choices. We're always making good choices. So I pray that you would make good choices. I pray that you would just continue to study and be wise and get wisdom. The Bible tells us to get wisdom. Get it. Get it, and then most important, live it, right? So with God's help, we can do that. Thank you guys. I love all you. Keep tuning in and keep coming back. Peace.